Good morning. This video is going to quickly go over the parts of a sarcomere. So the sarcomere are the individual units that are found in the muscle fiber or the muscle cell. Remember that a muscle fiber is the same thing as a muscle cell. We just call it a muscle fiber. You can see that right here we have these two lines here. So this is a full sarcomere unit from this zigzag line to this zigzag line. These lines are called the Z line. And ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to pull these Z lines together at some point to when the muscle is going to actually contract. So Z line to Z line. Attached to each Z line here is one of two protein filaments. This is called the actin, also called the thin filament. And then this right here, this is the other protein. This is called the myosin or the thick filament. Now, the actin is going to have basically a lock and a chain around it. So the best way to describe it is to kind of describe it like a bicycle chain lock. So you have the chain that you wrap around the wheels, and then you have like the lock or the padlock that you put on it. So actin has these two proteins on it that are going to be the chain and the lock. So the chain is the tropomyosin. It's again another protein. So I like to describe it as the chain, and then the lock to the chain is called troponin. And they wrap around the actin filament. This is going to be really important because in order for a muscle to contract, we're going to have to remove this first in order for the myosin and the actin to connect. I do want to just draw on here real quickly your myosin. Oftentimes you'll see it kind of drawn with these little things on the ends of them. These are called the myosin heads. So they have these on because basically their job is to kind of grab onto the actin filament at some point. So we call these the myosin heads, these little structures. And usually when you see a picture of a sarcomere, it'll have that on there. If you look then, continuing on with labeling, there is a section here, right here, which is called the A band. And the A band is going to be myosin and actin both. So you can see right, from here to here is that A band. So you got the myosin and you have actin right there. There is a zone right here where there's only, so you can kind of see it all the way through running down the middle. There is only myosin. This is called the H zone. So myosin only. And then running down the middle of the H zone is another line that you kind of have to draw in here. This is called the M line. And then the last section is going to be this section from here, the end of the myosin, to the beginning of another myosin. So it's actually only the actin. The Z line's kind of gonna straddle it, and this is called the I band. And so this would be actin only. So what we're gonna do when a muscle contracts is these units are going to squeeze together. So here's a relaxed muscle. If we were able to draw this showing a muscle contraction, it would all be squeezed together. They would get shorter. That's what a muscle contraction is. So in the next video, we're going to talk about what has to happen in order to squeeze these all together. But ultimately, we need these myosin heads to attach to the actin, and these myosin heads are basically going to pull, 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 and squeeze it towards the middle. In order to do this, though, we have to get rid of this bike lock and this chain that's found on the actin, and we can do that by releasing calcium that's stored in the endoplasmic reticulum of a muscle cell. Hopefully this helps you diagram your questions. Let me know if you have any others.